No, I'm just realizing at the moment that my nervous system is quite getting on the edge, like jumping, jumping up, and sometimes in these moments, like I'm happy that I realized that it happens in now. Before I wasn't really noticing that this is happening, but it's so difficult sometimes to get back into the peace and awareness. And yeah, I just want to ask if you have some suggestions for that. Because I mean, there are moments when it's obvious that it's like getting up, rising up a little bit, but sometimes just very tiny moments, and like I feel really, really like, oh, I can't really explain it very well, but
I think I understand.
you.
Welcome to the club, I would say, for a start. In these days, agitated nervous systems, agitated minds. You see this character, this avatar, as you know, is a, let's say, an integral part, even that's not fully correct, of the cosmos. And many can relate, including Laura and I, that this it's kind of wild. So it's good sometimes to see that it's not because that we could get hooked up into this, like, oh my God, I'm doing it all wrong or something. It's so common in the separate self traces to come up this idea that it's kind of my fault that I'm experiencing it like that. And of course, we have to be open and honest with ourselves if we were messing around in our lives in a way that contributed to our nervous system being all over the place, like too much screen time, not getting kind of out into nature, and touching grass, so to speak, seems to be very, very important for all of us these days, to not get hooked only into kind of plans and mind activity and chatter. And that's one part of the equation, right? That we kind of do our best to nurture our body and our nervous system in ways that we know that are nurturing to us. Assuming that this is what we're doing, we may discover, like many of us now, that it's still on fire. Nervous system is firing, is agitated. We may not know even what to do with ourselves. Honestly, it's so intense. So knowing that we have used intelligence, the intelligence of consciousness, to do our best to contribute and to take care of our body and mind as good as we can. When we can truly say yes to that, we find ourselves still with what is here, and then for a start, we have to accept what is here as it is. And when I say we have to accept, let be what is here as it is, I mean, we come back to our understanding that loving awareness, our nature, its nature is welcoming and accepting of what is. Non-resistance is not something that I do. Accepting is not something that I do as a person. It's more of a letting go of the resistance of the ideas of the person, how it should be, and allowing ourselves to relax fully into those sensations of agitation in the nervous system. We don't want to change them. We don't want to do anything with them. We just want to hold space, loving space for them, so to speak, by fully welcoming them. Kind of see clearly. You don't need to create the peace. You don't need to become awareness. You don't need to create anything to become awareness again. You are this loving awareness right now. What is aware of the agitated nervous system, of the difficulty, of the challenge, the very awareness of them is your freedom. Not the absence of this agitation is bringing the peace. That's the illusion of the separate me, right? The full welcoming, which is your nature. In your experience, there is right now, there is this consciousness, this awareness, our shared being, naturally holding space for these sensations and possibly thoughts that are coming with it. So in a way, it's a mix of your understanding that we deepen, hopefully, in our meetings of your nature, of your true nature as consciousness. And then now for so many of us, it's a lot of this applying this in our living experience, kind of seeing that your true nature that is always with you, that is always here, that doesn't need to be created, is kind of, when you close your eyes for one more moment, you see it's like this consciousness is like the space in which your experience is arising. Your thoughts, your feelings, the sensations, the tears, everything are subtle sensations, and then this nervous system agitation, more sensations, and all of them are held by this container, which is you, consciousness. And the only thing, so to speak, that can pull you out of this welcoming that you are could be thought that has another idea about what you are, what you have to do with it. And everything that you try to do with it kind of pulls you away from being consciousness in this moment. So you just have to be, in a way, alert to not fall for the thoughts that want to tell you otherwise, that you have to create some special effort now to the welcoming awareness. That's where your peace is. And by being that livingly, being like in this living knowing, I am this container in which all of this experience is arising, and it's intelligent that it's arising, it's not wrong. In this way, this light of awareness transposes. That's exactly it. It kind of penetrates your body, your mind, your feelings. No? And it not always, that is the truth also, even our consciousness, our shared being is always, its nature is this welcoming, this peace. It not always shows in your experience when you go through a rough time, through a rough agitation. If some strong sensations are firing, for most of us in our experience, they will have the power to kind of eclipse or cover the peace of your being. And that's okay, because you have the jnana, you have the understanding that I am that. So it's not like the ego that wants to replace the apparent unpleasant sensations with the peace of being. It's the peace of being simply welcoming the apparent unpleasant sensations. And then the peace comes back just effortlessly without you doing anything. And all these sensations that carry to some degree maybe traces of separation are kind of brought home in this way. Hey, Alma.